Hey guys, it's Krishanti with Krishanti.com, bringing you weekly videos about psychic development and spiritual and personal growth. So if you like this topic, please subscribe because it would be great to have you here. And this week's topic actually came as a request from Ebonee, which is such a beautiful name. And she wanted to know what happens to the soul once the physical body is no longer. And I haven't talked about that, and that's a really great question. So this video is about that. Now, first things first, I personally have not had a near-death experience. So I cannot tell you that I died and this is what I experienced and now I'm back. Everything that I know about what happens to souls when they depart comes from things that I've heard from other people firsthand, experiences I have had with people who have passed away, and many counts that I've read in books about what people report happens from people who have died and come back, some people who actually travel, go through the astral planes and actually see what happens to consciousness. And the truth of the matter is, through all of these reports and stories and like recounts of what happened, the theme that is consistent is that consciousness does survive. So when the soul leaves the body, there is a presence of life within that. So the being is still alive. And what can happen is that that spirit or soul can shoot straight up into the light and completely leave this realm and leave it all and go straight into the good place. And that's amazing when that happens. They're completely gone and they're not here. But what tends to happen also is that for a period of time, some souls can stay around the earth plane. The thing that we have to think about with that is that outside of this dimension, outside of the earth plane, there is no time. So we might freak out thinking, oh no, like what if this person died and they're still here, they're haunting the earth for 100 years. There are no years, so that's irrelevant. That's out the window. But what I have read is that for these that are kind of hanging around, they'll hang out for a while and then something will sweep them up, and then they'll go on to where they need to go. And what is so interesting is I'd made a video about this. I did have a firsthand experience of someone who committed suicide, and I didn't know, of course, that she had at the time, but it's like right after that, I was working out at the gym and my iPod just started breaking. I just started freezing up. Like it went on and off like a bunch of times, like more than 10 times. And I was like, what is going on? And I just stopped and tuned in, and it was her vibration. So in that case, she had ended her life very quickly. I sensed like desperation and confusion, and you can travel, anywhere. It's the speed of light, right? There is no limitation there. So she knew that I could see, so she was to me, and then I felt like she was back with her family and kind of going back and forth. And I said a prayer. I talked to one of my aunts who's good at spirit releasement, which is something, by the way, that you can do if you feel that that's happened. I don't do it personally. You can do it. You can talk to people who can help you do it. But I talked to my aunt about it, and I called in some angels, and I just said I don't do it. But in this case, I'm saying I don't do it professionally, but like in this case, and she helped. And we felt peace, like she was not hanging around. But ways that you can tell if they are present is, like I said, they'll mess with your electronics. They're able to make like lights blink on and off. The radio, like a lot of on and off stuff, they'll do to like get your attention. And back to, that was just, I feel like I'm digressing a little bit about that whole scenario, but that is something that can happen. I've been reading this great book, you guys, called Dream Gates. I'll hold it up. It's Dream Gates by Robert Moss. He is a shaman, and this book I've had for a long time and only just now started reading it. And it's about journeying and lucid dreaming and all of that. But it was so funny. After Ebonee asked this question, that's when I started reading the book, and I came to he has this whole section about helping with life after death. And so it's page 244. He's giving reasons as to why the departed don't go right away. And Robert Moss is a shaman, as I said, and he talks about shamans really being able to navigate like the earth plane and the afterlife. And so he lists 3 reasons why the departed do hang around. Some of this was based on research he did on Emanuel Swedenborg, who is a philosopher that did a lot of astral traveling and reported back. In fact, Swedenborg made like a map of the afterlife. So if you're interested in learning more, just look up Swedenborg. But here are the 3 reasons Robert Moss says that they hang out. The departed often do not know that they are dead, so they're still here because they don't know. And case in point is that movie, the I See Dead People movie, remember? Or that other movie, was it The Others with Nicole Kidman? Oh, it's so hauntingly good, but they didn't know they were dead. So that's reason number 1. Reason number 2 is that they just cling to familiar places. Like maybe they just love that place and they want to hang out. And reason number 3 is the departed cling to their ruling addictions and desires. So let's say you're a chain smoker and there's no smoking in heaven or whatever, and you're just like, oh, I got to get my cigarettes, and you don't, it's sort of like you just stick around. And again, this is temporary. At some point or another, the spirit will move on to a different place in the afterlife. And that is a whole other thing. What goes on over there, I believe that some of it can be beyond human comprehension, and yet we have reports that some people have generated for us, like Swedenborg, and I know that was it Sylvia Brown wrote a book about what she feels like the afterlife is like. So if you search, you'll get the information. And also you can do your own meditation and lucid dreaming, which Robert Moss will teach you in this book, Dream Gates, that I love. And see if you get a sense of what's happening there. Or you can also work with a accredited, a really good shaman to help you. If you're concerned about a departed loved one and you'd like to see where they are, you definitely can get answers. And if this is something you are dealing with, I feel for you, and I'm just sending you all of my love. It's wonderful to know that there is life after life. It's challenging to be the one still here on earth, not with the person that you love. So I totally get it. And if you need more support, just come to krishanti.com. I have tons of meditations and workshops, everything there I've created to help you tap into your own innate intuition and help you on the path of your, spiritual evolution and growth. So krishanti.com. And if you have your own experiences about people who have crossed over, or if you have a sense of what has happened to people that are no longer here that were once in your life, or if you've had a near-death experience, please come share in the comments. We love to hear these stories. All of us, you are helping everyone by sharing your own personal experiences. It's very, very special. So on that note, I want to thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time.